emotional issues of World War II. Americans born before 1940 in general cannot comprehend how anyone could be critical of President Truman's decision to end the war. Those born after 1945, growing up in the Cold War, wonder if there was not a better alternative. By 1936, it became increasingly clear to the world that Germany, Italy, and Japan were pursuing a common path of aggression, both in Europe and the Far East. The signing of the September 27, 1940, agreeing not to invade each other's country, would have far-reaching effects. The atomic bomb begins in 1939. An immigrant Hungarian physicist named Leo Szilard learns that German scientists have discovered how to split the atom. Splitting the uranium atom might create a chain reaction, releasing 1,000,000 times more energy than an equal amount of high explosives. Szilard is Jewish. He flees Germany following Hitler's rise to chancellor. Intelligence reports begin to trickle in showing that the Germans are making progress on atomic weapons research. Szilard persuades his friend Albert Einstein to co-sign a letter to President Roosevelt imploring him to begin atomic weapons research in earnest. To this point, government nuclear research has received the grand sum of $2,000. The president orders an all-out effort to create the A-bomb. The daunting task is assigned to the Army Corps of Engineers, Manhattan District in New York City, giving the New Manhattan Project its name. They assign one of its most can-do officers to direct the program, General Leslie Richard Groves. Groves appoints Dr. J. Robert Oppenheimer, a brilliant physicist teaching at the University of California at Berkeley. Due to the uncertainty of which element would make a better bomb, two enormous facilities are built practically overnight, a plutonium plant in Hanford, Washington, and a uranium-235 plant in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. A plant called Los Alamos in New Mexico is the site for the A-bomb's design and assembly. Busy factory workers are oblivious to their assignments. Tons of materials arrive, but mysteriously, nothing is produced. Scientists must refer to each other in cryptic code names. The A-bomb is never referred to as a bomb. It's a gadget, or the gimmick. And despite the enormous precautions in place, the Soviets have infiltrated this top-secret project. Their spy at Los Alamos is Dr. Klaus Fuchs. But one problem looms. At the moment, no airplane in the Allied inventory is capable of delivering such a weapon to the Japanese mainland. By early 1944, the Boeing Airplane Company gears up to produce a revolutionary new aircraft, the B-29. Officially named the Super Fortress, the plane is a gigantic leap forward, 25% faster than its predecessor, the B-17. It can carry a 20,000-pound bomb load and fly more than 4,000 miles. It will become central to the Allies' plan for the defeat of Japan and America's ability to deliver the bomb. The first objective is to provide an air base close enough to Japan's industrial centers so the B-29s can attack. The Marianas Islands, Saipan, Tinian, and Guam are the next targets for the U.S. Marines. A B-29 named Boxcar, carrying the Fat Man bomb, or plutonium bomb, like the one tested at Alamogordo, is in its final preparation on Tinian. Its casing gets a layer of personal graffiti. One of the messages, scrawled in crayon, salutes the lost crew of the USS Indianapolis. The men of the 509th are justly proud that the flight of the Enola Gay went precisely as planned. But the second atomic flight will suffer every bit of bad luck that the Enola Gay managed to avoid. President Truman issues his second authorization. The bomb is ready, weather permitting. Under strict orders to bomb only if they can see the actual target, Boxcar reaches Kokura and Niigata. Both destinations are under heavy ground haze. They are spared. Nagasaki will not be as fortunate. The air raid sirens in Nagasaki are silent. The workers return to the production lines. Courageously, the people try to resume some kind of routine under the heavy weight of impending doom. The Army Ministry of War is unable to recommend a unilateral surrender to the Emperor. The Soviet Union has declared war on Japan. The Allies' promise of a reign of ruin is imminent. The bomb cannot be halted. For 45 seconds, the second atomic bomb falls to Earth. Even though the drop is a tactical success for the crew, the celebration is delayed due to a frightening near mid-air collision. The two planes, Boxcar and Great Artiste, suffer a harrowing near miss of the burgeoning mushroom cloud before heading for the closest island, Okinawa, a 2-hour trip with a dwindling supply of fuel. Boxcar and the Great Artiste finally reach Okinawa, but the jinx still holds. Boxcar's pilot, Captain Charles Sweeney, transmits a mayday, but it mysteriously fails to reach the radio tower. Calling on all his skill, Sweeney unexpectedly touches down and barrels through a traffic pattern at 150 miles an hour, barely avoiding 2 parked B-24s. August 9th, the day of both the Soviet invasion and the Nagasaki bomb, was almost the final day of World War II. If needed, a third atomic bomb destined for Tokyo was ready at Los Alamos. Japan's decision to surrender is still bound in the rigid rules of imperial etiquette, but stronger voices prevail, and for the first time, the Emperor has to exalt his supreme authority in imperial conference. The diminutive Emperor Hirohito, who keeps a portrait of Abraham Lincoln in his study, issues his first voice communication, a radio address to the Japanese people. Hirohito, realizing there is no hope for his country's survival, supports the Foreign Ministry's plan that calls for one condition of surrender: to keep the Emperor in power. Hirohito relents. "I cannot bear to see my innocent people suffer any longer.